When you walk up to the vehicle with the key, it has the full proximity system, and when it senses the key, it starts pulsating the lights here in the front and the back. Has a little light show there. It also gives us the Dark Horse emblem here on the ground, looking really cool. And so now, after the light show, you have the tail lights and some lights there in the front. Not the full lights, but it does have some safety lights on the outside of the vehicle. When we hit the unlock button, basically we get the same thing. So if the vehicle's off and you hit the unlock button, you get the pulsating lights and the basically landing on this look right here with the exterior lights on. There's also interior lights on as well. It does have an off position on the headlight switch, so you can actually turn off all the exterior lights if you want to. So let's go ahead and turn on the parking lights. The parking lights are basically this white light, this 3 segments up here. Not super bright, you're not gonna mistake these as headlights. There's 3 distinct, really sharp looking lights. There's also this little light right in here that turns on. You can see that in there on both sides, just as an accent light, I guess. There's also an amber side marker here in the front, a red side marker here in the back, and of course we have the red taillights. Now they look a little orangey on camera, but they're nice deep red LED taillights. Tag lights are also on now. Turn signal here in the front is an animated sequential LED amber in color turn signal. It's pretty bright enough. It shines a little bit on the ground, which is nice, kind of alerts other drivers that you have your turn signal on. There's also a turn signal indicator here on the side mirror. It's amber in color. It's visible, not very bright, but you can see it from the front, the side, and the back. And back here, very bright turn signals back here. Let me turn the brightness down on the camera, because man, they are super bright. So it has this animation effect, sequential 1, 2, 3. For the turn signal. Now for the hazard lights, it's just a simple on and off flashing light. There's also the brake lights integrated here, reverse lights, which is in the bottom center, and then there's a third brake light at the top of the glass. So now let's go to the low beams there. And the low beams are basically there's 3 LED projectors, and they work for both the low beams and the high beams. See right there's 3 of them, and they basically refocus for the high beams. I'll show you that in a second. But the cutoff is, if I go way back here, cutoff is about 2.5 feet off the ground. It looks like one side is lower than the other. We'll see what it looks like going down the road though. So let's switch to the high beams. There's the low beams, there's the high beams. And basically it's going to look about the same looking at the front, because it's just the 3 projectors. They're just now refocused for the high beam position. And I think there's an additional lights that turn on, if it's anything like the EcoBoost, but we'll check it out. It looks pretty good so far. The light in the trunk is just a single light just under here. It's LED, it's a little bit offset, and you can see the problem that just having a single light cast shadows if you have anything in here. So it's real easy to cast shadows and have problems seeing things, and that's basically an issue with this vehicle, and just causes a problem for me to use this vehicle at night with my equipment and stuff. So although it does have the Dark Horse emblem on the ground, that's not really an approach light. It's not really it doesn't really have any functional purpose, just kind of a cool accent feature. So there's no puddle light or anything like that. There's no pocket lights either. We just have a little accent light right here, and then of course the buttons on the door are all backlit. We do have some floorboard illumination, which you can adjust the color. You can also adjust the brightness and all that stuff. We'll get into that soon. Absolutely no lights here in the back. And the back seat is completely dark, nothing. Have the door open, you can see what the interior lights look like here. It's just lights here coming from the center and illuminate mostly the center area, but it's a little bit light in my face, like it's aimed directly in my face a little bit too much. You can tell vehicles that they have the light, it shines down and not so much in the face of the driver, these type of lights, but that's the way these are. All right, so let's shut the door, these turn off slowly, and we're left with the backlit buttons here. and also the ambient light, stuff like that. So I have it set to blue, the ambient light. But there's also adjustments on the screens where you can change the color. So I have it set to green and red. So you can see there's green and accents there, and red here and there. I had the brightness on my camera turned up quite a bit so you can see. So let's back it down a little bit so you can see what the screens look like naturally right there. Alright, so turn the brightness up again, because there's a lot of dark areas in here. So so the floorboard illumination is actually pretty good when you turn the brightness up. But you can see this area right here is completely dark, where you put your cell phone, cup holder, shifter area, all this stuff is dark. The center console area does have a light, which is pretty cool. The glove compartment does not have a light. Wow, okay. Now up here we had the tap lights, and like I said, these shine in my, like, right in my face too much. They're not really focused where they need to be, which is down. You know, they're supposed to be the reading lights, so you're looking here. So when I look up to turn these lights on, they're right in my face. Now I can turn all the interior lights on, all off, which all the interior lights are basically you're looking at them, that's it. You can have them turn off even when you open the door, they won't turn on, or you can have them in the center position and they'll turn on when you open up the door. Now it has the HomeLink garage door opener control here, but they're not illuminated. Probably can't even tell what I'm talking about. Right in here is the garage door opener control. It's not illuminated. The visor does have lights and a mirror. And these are actually kind of decent, you know, as far as they're not super overly bright. They're kind of soft for your face since you're looking in the mirror, so that's pretty good. So under My Mustang, you have the My Color, and then you have displays, which is these screens, and then you have the ambient light. So I had the displays set as red and green. So we'll change that to blue and yellow so you can see what changes here. It's just very subtle. Subtle changes here. Turn the brightness down again. You see the yellow and a little bit of blue there. You see that yellow down there. You see the blue up here. Alright, so now let's adjust the ambient light, which is in the floorboard and the handle there. And that's it. There's not like a lot of light here. I wish they would have had some with the cup holders and the other things here, but it's not the case. So you have the brightness here, you have the color, and then you can adjust it. This little slider right here. Let me turn the brightness down. So yeah, it has the full color range there, and we can adjust it wherever we want. We'll go to yellow, see what that looks like. So yeah, you got the yellow on the floorboard and the handles. That's a little bit more of a subtle color. And let's go to red. That's kind of more of a popping color. But yeah, you just basically slide it around and get to the color that you want. We'll go with the purple right now. It's pretty cool. Now when you lock the doors, there's a little light that lights up there on the door, letting you know that the vehicle's locked on both doors. All right, so there's the high beams, there's the low beams. Hopefully you can see that. I got the brightness turned up on the camera quite a bit. It looks like we got possibly an alignment issue with these headlights. We'll see. Okay, so the low beams are supposed to have a shadow on the oncoming lane, which it looks like it has. It's a little bit on this lane though, it looks like. But looks like you have 3 on each side, right? 3 headlights. And so it looks like, you know, at least one of them might be out of line. And also it seems like awfully low on that side as we looked at on the cutoff. Because like I'm looking at, you know, 75 feet in front of the vehicle, it is dark. So the low beams probably just need to be adjusted, because as they are right now, they're not all that great. And I think it's just an adjustment issue. I mean, it's really, really, really close to the vehicle. So yeah. But yeah, if it's anything like the the EcoBoost, you know, they should be, once they're properly aligned, they should be pretty decent, because I can see on the side of the road it's pretty good. It's just, you know, just a little bit too close for the low beams. But we'll go up here and hopefully find a dark road without a bunch of cars and look at the high beams, because that's where we can really need some good headlights when it's dark. Okay, there's the high beams. Okay, yeah, they're pretty good. They're not as, yeah, they're pretty good. I mean, they're not spectacular, but I think part of it is just the alignment issue. But yeah, I think that the high beams look pretty good. I don't see any issues really with the high beams. The distance is good, and I can see the trees in the distance. There's not really any patchiness on the road either. And the distance looks pretty good. So yeah, those low beams, just an alignment really issue. I'm just gonna like not even comment too much on that, because it just doesn't look like it's lined up right. But those high beams look really good. Yeah, I can see everywhere pretty much. The high beams are very impressive. Not wowing me, but compared to the low beams, they're impressive, I guess. Yeah, they're adequate high beams for sure. But yeah, I can see. Yep, I can see pretty much everything. Let's just see something here. Yeah, I don't see any. I don't see any like them being a auto leveling or anything like that. It looks like they're just static headlights, which is fine. The vehicle doesn't rock back and forth or anything much, but just wanted to see if that's the case. But yeah, low beams not all that great, but high beams good.